Hey guys, how y'all doing today? This is Scotty here. Welcome back to my channel. How y'all folks been doing today? Oh, I'm doing good. Got quite a bit done today. We actually had really nice weather. Couldn't actually believe it. We had 55 degree temperatures. Might even been close to 60 degrees really. With all sunshine. It was really nice. Got a little bit of stuff thawed out. So yeah, but got a lot done today, more than what I normally do. So, we've done a little bit of moving and cleaning up houses, cleaning out a house and stuff. Got to go back tomorrow and finish it up. Hopefully tomorrow will be just as good as it was today. Friend of ours that we had met over the last couple of weeks. He was pretty well done. He went back home. He's actually in Atlanta, Georgia, or probably on the other side of it by now. He's gonna get a motel room, stop for the night, and then drive the rest of the way into St. Petersburg, Florida, is where he lives at. So, you know, if you're watching the video, drive safe, be careful, get you a good night rest. You worked hard, my friend. He was actually a real good guy. Him and his wife both, give them both a good shout out there. They was real good. Boy, my back is killing me. It's sore, it's hurting. They was in a big hurry to leave, so they didn't actually get to help me load up a whole lot of stuff, but we got him loaded up and get him on the road, and I don't blame him because he's 14 hours away from home, so I wanted to get him on his way. He left about 11:30, 12 o'clock, something like that. So, yeah, I'm just glad he gone. Like I said, he should be on the other side of Atlanta, Georgia by now, or in Atlanta, Georgia. He said that he was gonna stop and give him a motel room, and then he said from there to his house, I ain't but another 6.5 hour drive or something like that, and they'll just drive that tomorrow. So, yeah, better him than me. He kind of, I don't know why. Well, I think in Birmingham, he told me they're doing some work on the interstate out there, South Bell. Yeah, I know, I'm tired. I worked hard. It won't be long, and I'll be ready to go to bed. But yeah, they had a therapeutic king-size bed that was left out there. We got it out of there, and I brought it home. The lawnmowers and stuff, I brought them home. And, I got paid pretty decent, I mean, to do it. So, I mean, the stuff that I'm cleaning out now, I can turn around and resell it and still make $300 or $400 out of it. So, and that's basically where I'm at on that. So, make sales, make sales. I mean, it's just me. So, it's been a hard day, but a beautiful day. I mean, can't go wrong. So, yeah. I wanna I've had a pretty easy life for me, So I still don't know what I need to say on here or how I need to say things. What y'all want to really hear. So I'm only 5 minutes in the video. So um, yeah. Well, I'll tell you a little bit of here. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, things I want to say on here, is not actually what I need to say on here. So, um, I don't know. What y'all want me to talk about? I need to go live on here. Maybe I can get some people in there to comment some stuff for me, with me, and I can read them out. Is that so? Um, I was born in Dyersburg, Tennessee. I was born in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Raised up in Ripley, Tennessee. My mother and stepfather left town and they went to Florida. Of course, I stayed with my aunt and my uncle. My uncle is basically my dad to me, really. So I stayed with him till, I don't know, I was probably 5, 6 years old when they came back and got me. And when they came back and got me, it seemed like we moved every time rent was due. I mean, because I lived in Ripley, Tennessee. I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, Savannah, Tennessee, back to Dyersburg, Tennessee, went to Memphis, Tennessee, been in Ripley, Tennessee, lived in Halls, Tennessee. Finally, when they finally separated and stuff, we finally settled down in Savannah was pretty much where I spent my high school years. I miss being back at home around Ripley, Tennessee when I was a kid. We went there every weekend, but that got old, so we stayed at home. Oh man. It's just crazy world. Been all the way around the world, I guess. So, started trucking. I got in the trucking business. I actually started driving a truck at 16 years old, locally, farming wise. I was in the semis and running some tractors and stuff. Then I got into logging, and they didn't care much about farming, but we got into logging, so we stayed into it. When I got into logging, I didn't drive a semi as much because it was overweighted or extremely heavy and easy to turn over, and they didn't want to put me in that kind of situation. But when I turned 21, they sent me to the, I didn't go to no truck driving school. I just went straight to the DVM, or driver's license place here in Tennessee, and took the test to get my CDLs, and we used my uncle's semi, and his, at the time he had a box trailer and he had a log trailer, but I chose the box trailer, so we used it, and overall I ended up with like a 97. Yeah, I only missed one answer on the whole thing, or I missed one thing. I aced everything else. I mean, I've already knew if you grew up around semis and you study the rules of the roads, and you study ever since I was probably 13, because I was driving cars and stuff. My Lord, how old was I? 12, 13? So, and then I was driving a semi when I was 16, so, you know, like I said, that was farm use equipment. And we got out there on the road. He had a 53-foot box trailer, not a reefer, just a regular 53-foot box. And we was pretty much hauling anything from stuff that goes to dollar stores and stuff that goes to lumber yards and stuff. I mean, I made a lot of money doing that. At the time, I had an old KW100. If y'all don't know what that is, that's an old cab over truck, which they banded down back in somewhere, I think it was before 2000. I think it ended in 98, I think. It might have been 2000 when they ended it. But they were still legal to drive. California put them out of service about 2005, 2008, something like that, from California. Put them out of service. You couldn't drive a cab over truck in the state of California. And the reason I knew this was because I got stopped in 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2005. 2005, I was stopped by the California Highway Patrol, and I was not able to drive anywhere. They shut me down right there on the side of the road. Told me I couldn't go no further. I had to shut the truck off. Luckily, I done went in California, dropped my load, and I was heading out is what I was doing. And he got me. It was about 150 miles from Nevada state line. And he wouldn't let me drive. He would not let me drive. They told me, he called the tow truck in, and the tow truck come out, and he towed the tractor trailer all the way to the Nevada state line before he could drop me. So I got a citation, and we got a towing bill. And what we have done on that is I got the state trooper badge number and his name and stuff, and we turned it into our lawyers. Our lawyers went back, and the California Highway Patrolman was sued for it because it was not in effect until the next following year. So I could have still drove that truck across the state line without being caught or being in trouble, because there wasn't nothing wrong with the truck. There was nothing wrong with the truck. There was nothing wrong with the trailer. They were just pushing it to where cab over trucks couldn't come in the state of California no more. And they was trying to get prepared for it. So, me, my uncle, and the lawyer, we went to California again. This time we flew on a plane, and we went to court. And when we went to court, they told us that the charges had been dropped, that my license did not get any points put on it, and the towing fee was paid in full. That, well, we had to pay it, so that he had to reimburse me. And the cop who stopped me was the one who brought us that check, and he said he was sorry. He should have just let me go with a warning and been done with it. I mean, that would have been his best bet, but a lot of times in trucking, police, especially the bad ones, they try to push it from right and wrong. And that there's right ways and there's wrong ways to do things. There's guidelines. That's why they go to school to learn these things. And sometimes they still think they're hot shots and stuff. Today's world, they blame the thing called there's a trucker shortage. There's no such thing called a trucker shortage. It is called government regulation shortage. What do you mean there's government regulation shortage? What do you mean there ain't trucker shortage? There's no trucker shortages because we got trucks out there on the work road running. The reason we have trucker shortages, the reason they can't get the freight delivered on time like they need to or want to, is because of the regulation. Now, you're only allowed to drive 11 hours out of a day. That's all you can drive. That's all you can drive over the road. Now, I agree to some point, but some points it's useless. If a person can drive a freaking car or a pickup truck down the road 16, 18 hours a day, why can't the truck drivers? Why can't they? Oh, because they're so big, they're so overweighted, they're exhausted. Well, what do you think about people in cars and trucks that are exhausted and tired, that's got cell phones too busy in their hand texting and talking and not paying a road, cutting semis off, doing brake checks on them? I mean, there's no trucker shortage. The government needs to redo their rules of the road for truck drivers and let them drive. They can drive 14 hours, but they can only be on duty for 16 hours. And then they shut down for the night and call it quit. People who drive long distance in cars and trucks, they're the ones that don't need to drive no more than 11 hours a day. And if they drive 8 hours, they gotta stop and take a 30-minute break. That's my opinion. You get more money out of a car and a pickup truck driver than you can semis. Because now we're all under the rules and regulations, and when a truck driver gets points added on their license, when they get points built up, after a certain number, they're through. They lose their jobs, they can't drive no more. And I've been in a few places that I drove 13 hours. At the time, they didn't have that 11 hours at the time. I was 13 hours away from my destination. So I drove 13 hours. And I finally got to my destination. I dropped my load. They unloaded me that night. Because they had a third shift going, so they could unload me at any time. So, and then go truck stop and go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, dispatch got your new load. Well, about a year or two after that, I think it was a year afterwards, they made it mandatory that you can only drive 11 hours. Well, one day, I picked up in the morning, and I drove 11, or, yeah. No. I drove 10.5 hours. I was at a very nice truck stop, or I wasn't there yet, but I knew where a very nice truck stop was. And that was going to set me back about an hour and a half of being to my destination, which I could only drive like 30 more minutes, and I'm going to shut down anyway. So I might well stop. Well, the dispatcher told me that I had to keep going, to make that deadline. And I told the dispatcher that I couldn't. I had to stop. I said, other than that, I was going to be on the side of the interstate, shut down, and then I ain't going to be able to do nothing. And, well, he argued with me, and he told me I had to go. And I went ahead and I pulled into this little truck stop, backed in, and my clock had just hit 11 hours. And I was parked. And I heard over the radio, CB, that another driver was talking that there was a scale house about halfway between where I turned off to the truck stop to my destination. There was a scale house in between that, and they was checking for people that was over their hours. They were looking them up, and they've been getting them left to right. Dispatcher called and told me, where you at? I said, I'm at the truck stop. Oh, that dispatcher, he was mad. He told me I had to get on the road. I said, all right. I told him, I said, I'm going to get on the road. I'm going to be waiting on you down here at the scale house. He said, what do you mean? You'll be waiting on me? I said, I'm going to be waiting on you. You're going to turn your driver's license in, and you're going to walk back home. Or catch you a taxi cab, either one. He said, what do you mean? I said, they're catching people that's over on their hours. And people's here's talking about it. So, it's not a driver shortage. It's not. It's government rules, regulations. So, if you can drive it, you can drive it. Alright, I've done been on here 23 minutes. So that's enough for me rambling. So, hit the subscribe button. Hit the icon bell. Hit all so you can see all my videos. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. Hopefully it's all thumbs up. Good job. Make some comments down below what y'all think about the truck driver shortage. So, stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate y'all.